Hey traders, it's Josh at Option Sizzle. It's Friday, February 5th. I'm going to do a video here on ARG, this Airgas. This is a name that's been very talked about in the news and on Twitter and a few forums about the unusual option activity. I'm just going over a few things. Let's take a look at the Analyze tab here. And the last few days I've been seeing some increased action taking place in the options here. And I took a little bit back into my data, and we started seeing some activity starting to pick up here on Monday. If you want to take a look here, I just want to point out of following the open interest and seeing the increase of contracts being opened. Here in February, we saw that the 45s were seeing some interest, and this is normal trading here. The 45s, the 50s in March, same thing in April, and in July we're seeing some activity here in the 45-50. Not too unusual. Prices closed up $2. Prices shot up about 6%, and they're going after the 45s and the 50s, and not too unusual. But let's keep an eye on the open interest changes here. This changed here. Uh, some of it added, but we start seeing the activity pick up here. In March, or I'm sorry, in March 50s here, we start seeing the volume exceeding open interest. Same thing here in the 45s, and we can take a look here in April too, and there's 500 traded. This is exceeding open interest by 5 times here, the volume. Let's take a look to see how it tacks onto the open interest. Now we see 606 contracts in those 45s, and now we're on February 3rd. We're on Wednesday's activity, and you can see here the 272 here, and back to the April 50s. In the 45s, we're seeing some interest as well. Um, and then comes in on Thursday, and then all of a sudden the activity really spikes up here. You start seeing the April 55s really start seeing some interest, and this is when prices are um, a good $12 away from prices here. They're hitting the offer here on the 55s. They hit mid market offer, 10 cents here, and the same thing that was happening in this 50. They're taking it off at 40 cents. And this is when the market's going down. Uh, you have to understand that when the market's really selling off aggressively and you start seeing traders step in and hitting prices on the offer, that's showing me that those individuals are not worried about price. You can see here that the spread is 10 cents wide, and with 10 cents, they're willing to give up 20% of profit. You take into the price of the spread difference between the price of the options, and it's about 20% of cushion back and forth that they're giving up, and they're giving that up when they're hitting the offer side. On a very aggressive down day, they're playing a direction, and usually indicates that something that of this nature, that some kind of news is going to happen, and this is the reason why I track where the smart money, or where not necessarily the smart money, but where this unusual options activity is going on, is because these individuals know the news ahead of us. And it's not necessarily smart money, it's just the fact that they're paying more money, they have better information than myself and many of us out there, and in most cases, inside information. This activity that took place on yesterday registered on my system about a 900% increase in option volume. Take a look into today. You can see that most of that activity really jumped into this new open interest. These contracts were bought to open, and according to my system, these were non-retail clients. And there's a distinguish between retail clients and institutional clients by the size that they trade on, and how it's cleared. Well, we could see those calls that were picked up for 10 cents here. They were trading closed here 270 by 310, and those 40s were 670 by 720. This is not where prices up for 17 bucks here, up 40%. This is not something that is happens by coincidence or by luck. This person, the persons or the people that were buying and accumulating days ahead of this activity knew the information. And again, this is one of the reasons why I follow unusual option activity. I use it as an indicator to, to show me where money is going, because when trades are taking place on the offer, implied volatility is moving higher, it's showing me that those individuals are playing a direction. There's a few things that you have to read into it. Uh, than just looking at volume and trying to dictate if they're bought or sold. Let's take a look at the chart here on Airgas, and we'll take a look at yesterday. And when I was looking at this activity, we saw that prices gap lower here off of news, and this is going to be on 129. And then we had a move higher here. That's on this 2-1, this February 1st. Well, this is really looks just like to me a possible, that we hit resistance here and we're backing off and they're buying here, and it could look like to me that these individuals will probably buying calls to protect maybe a possible short position. It's the same way it works when you buy stock long and then you buy puts to protect to the downside. Individuals do the opposite way. When they're shorting stocks, they buy calls to protect them to the upside. So here you look on the chart here, and it's pulling back, and volume's just about average here, and it's just pulling back, retracing this candle here, looking like it's resistance, and it could pull back and make another run higher here. But it really did make another run higher with this move. But those are the things that you have to try to read into and try to figure out and put the pieces to the puzzle together to see exactly what they're doing and why they would be doing this. The news is that another company is looking to take them over. They've made an offer from 2 times before. And that's why following the fundamentals at times can really be helpful, is because if you knew the story behind here, you piece the activity together, you could see the reason why these individuals were going out to April, were accumulating calls ahead of time, because they knew that this company was going to step in and make another bid for the company, and that's what we saw today. So, last time I read that there was a firm that had information on this that were being sued. So we'll see what the case brings against this. But as far as the money that they made on it, it's a pretty good payday when they woke up this morning. But when they left the office, being served with paperwork of a lawsuit, it's not gonna not go bode too well. So let's take a look at this TM trade that I talked about a few days ago, and I had mentioned about the put activity. I've seen put activity the last 3 days increase. Today's put activity actually looked to be closing transactions on the call and put side, where the last few days it's been very active. But as I was talking about, this area has been a support level. I took a position on this day right here, looking for a bottom. Some more news came out and pushed prices lower. But as double bottoms happen, you don't normally get it perfectly, or you time it right. And like I said, this was an area that I was going to buy into, the support area, um, and that's what we saw here. And today we saw an aggressive move to the upside, and I'm looking for more push up higher. The levels of support, resistance, are going to be at this level right here, and then this area, and then I'm looking for a possible move back up to 80 here on a short squeeze on some possible news or some kind of catalyst that really starts scaring these shorts to really cover. Our spread is turned green today on the market moving higher, and we get any kind of push up higher, I'm going to be looking to sell into those levels.